So then he came over, right? Yeah, right, with Tom. Yeah, and both of them just came into my house, and you know how, right, Tom stinks. Yeah, I don't think he's taken a shower in like 2 weeks. Right, he plays basketball every day, but he never washes his clothes. So they both come in there, and I'm like, what is that smell? Right, exactly. And he's like, it's weird. I think there's mosquitoes in here or something. Yeah, so I said, please, you need to leave here because my whole house is just starting to have this like stink. Oh, excuse. Yeah. Oh, hi. Excuse me. Hold on a second.
This is a library, and I'm trying to study. Could you please lower your voice a little bit?
Was I being loud?
Yeah,
I'm really
a little
sorry.
bit.
Okay, I'll take this outside. I'm really sorry about that.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yes. So then
Don't be afraid to speak up.
Monica is an easygoing person. Few things in life bother her, so she doesn't worry or get angry easily. She also doesn't like conflict and tries to avoid it.
Welcome to ABC Interactive English.
Sorry, can you speak up a little bit?
Welcome to ABC Interactive English. This is Don't Be Afraid to Speak Up, Part 1. I'm Sam.
Hello, everybody. I am Shane. So we're talking about speaking up. So speaking up could mean to be louder, but it could also mean that you're afraid to speak, so you speak, right? So if you're afraid to say something, I'll say, no, it's okay. You can talk.
Yeah, and
That's to speak up.
If you are maybe a little bit shy to stand up for something that you think is right, then we can use this word in that situation too, saying, speak up, say what you think is not right, or say what you're uncomfortable with. Speak up.
Yeah, if you see somebody is being mean to one of your classmates, you can say something to the person who's being mean. You can speak up for somebody else too. And say, hey, that's not nice. You shouldn't do that.
Yes.
Right? So Monica is an easygoing person. Few things in life bother her, so she doesn't worry or get angry easily.
So it sounds like Monica is a pretty fun, chill person.
Yeah, she seems to be relaxed and she doesn't get angry very easily. She sounds like a pretty nice person to spend time with, I think.
Yeah. So this word, easygoing, in the sentence means to be very relaxed, and it talks about your personality. Yeah. So if you're an easygoing person, you don't get upset very easily, and you can go with the flow.
It's easy to be with you. It's easy to get along with you if you're an easygoing person.
Yes.
And what would be the opposite of easygoing? Kind of like difficult, right?
Yeah, difficult, stubborn maybe.
Stubborn, yeah. Or maybe somebody who gets angry easily. That's easygoing people are the best people, I think. All right, so we have another vocabulary word, few. So few just means not a lot, right? So it could be 2, it could be 3, just not a lot. I think this is more of a countable thing, though, right?
This is an adjective that we use with countable nouns.
So you can't say I have a few water, right? But
you could say what? I have a few bottles of water, or a few cups of water.
Right. And if you say few, then we know you don't have like 20 cups of water. You have 2 or 3, right? Okay.
And then we also have the word bother in this sentence. And bother is a verb that means to annoy or to kind of just make somebody uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times in Taiwan, you might find that mosquitoes tend to bother people.
They really, really bother me.
Yeah.
I hate mosquitoes.
Yeah, that little ee sound next to your ear, that will really bother people.
Right. And how do they know right when you're about to fall asleep?
Oh, that's the
it's
worst.
It's like they're waiting for you to start to fall asleep, and then
Maybe they are. Maybe they're sitting up there and they're watching your eyes, and as soon as your eyes are about to close, then they swoop down and try to bite you.
Nothing worse than mosquitoes.
So we can continue on with our reading. The next sentence we have is, she also doesn't like conflict and tries to avoid it.
Okay, so conflict. Conflict means when two people don't get along and they might argue or maybe have some not nice things to say to each other, right? For example, you can say somebody who is shy likes to avoid conflict.
Yes.
It means you don't really want to get in an argument with somebody or feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. And so if you are an easygoing person like Monica, then you might not want to be in very many conflicts because it's probably very uncomfortable for you.
Right.
And we also have the vocabulary word avoid. And avoid means to try not to run into something. So in this case, it is conflicts. You don't want to get into a conflict, so you avoid it at all costs, meaning you go around or you don't say anything and you don't want to have this thing happen. You also can use this word, for example, to like physically avoid something, meaning if you're driving a car, for example.
Oh, and a dog is coming onto the road?
Yeah, and you obviously don't want to hit the dog, so you try to avoid it.
Avoid him.
And so hard turn on the right or hard turn to the left or slam on the brakes, that would all be ways to avoid that situation.
Okay, so being an easygoing person who wants to avoid conflict. Okay, all right. So I'm starting to get an idea of what Monica is like.
Yes.
Okay, let's take a break and find out more about Monica later.
However, Monica won't turn a blind eye when she sees something wrong. In those cases, she'll speak up for herself and others. The last time was the other day. Monica was having lunch with a friend. The service was really bad and really slow, so Monica politely told the manager. He apologized and promised to fix the problem.
Okay, so we're still talking about Monica. We found out that she is an easygoing person. She doesn't really like conflict.
Yeah, she tries to avoid these things to kind of have a more relaxed and calm life.
Okay, well, however, Monica won't turn a blind eye when she sees something wrong. So even though she doesn't like conflict, if she sees something that she thinks is not right, she's not going to turn a blind eye. What does that mean?
Yes, well, turn a blind eye, this is a phrase that means to ignore something. So if you are turning a blind eye to something, it means you're pretending that you don't see, and then you are just going to ignore whatever that thing is that is happening.
Right. That's the point, though. It's not that you just don't look at it. You do know that it's happening. You're choosing to ignore it.
Yes, so you did see it, but you don't want to see it, or you choose not to see it.
Right, so I saw that boy getting bullied, but I turned a blind eye because I thought it would be a little bit embarrassing to
say
something. Yeah, but that's not good.
Yeah, so Monica, luckily, is not like this. So in those cases, she'll speak up for herself and others. The last time was the other day.
Okay, so she's not afraid to speak up. And she will say something for somebody else or for herself.
Yes.
Okay, so what happened? Okay, Monica was having lunch with a friend. The service was really bad and really slow. Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, that's the worst.
So Monica politely told the manager. Okay, so she's speaking up.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So he apologized and promised to fix the problem. When I go into a restaurant and the service is slow and nobody's communicating to me, you're really hungry.
Yeah, at least like give us a little bit of a heads up. Yeah. Hey, I'm sorry that it's taking so long. Maybe 10 more minutes. Just something to let me know that my food is coming, because if I'm in a restaurant, I'm hungry.
Yeah, if you give somebody a heads up, it's like you let them know like what's happening. Like, oh, your food's going to be a little bit late. Our kitchen is very busy.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's a way to kind of handle that kind of situation politely, which is our next word that we're going to look at. So politely is an adverb that means to do something with manners or to do something in a nice way and not a rude way.
Right.
So you can ask somebody politely to help you, or in this case, Monica is saying the service was not very good. So instead of rudely saying, hey, can I get some help?
Right.
She might have said, excuse me, but we've been waiting for a long time. Could you please hurry?
Right. Right. So she politely asked, because if she says it rudely, like, hey, where's our food? Oh, you don't want to do that in a restaurant? Because maybe they'll do something to your food.
Yeah, you never know. You kind of feel like the food gets prepared somewhere else. You might not want to make people angry.
That could be dangerous. Okay, so the next vocabulary word is promise. So when you promise to do something, this is a verb, you are going to assure the other person that something is going to be done. So for sure, if I say that I'm going to meet you at 8 p.m., and I promise that I'm going to meet you at 8 p.m., you can be sure I will be there at 8 p.m.
Yes, and at 8:01, you've broken your promise.
That's right. No, maybe not 8:01. Come on, I could be 1 minute late.
Well, then don't promise.
Speaking of which, I actually did promise my wife that I was going to be home in time for dinner at 6 p.m., so I better hurry.
Oh.
So I'm going to get going. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Monica is an easygoing person. Few things in life bother her, so she doesn't worry or get angry easily. She also doesn't like conflict and tries to avoid it. However, Monica won't turn a blind eye when she sees something wrong. In those cases, she'll speak up for herself and others. The last time was the other day. Monica was having lunch with a friend. The service was really bad and really slow, so Monica politely told the manager. He apologized and promised to fix the problem.
Hello， 各位同学，今天好吗？我是维尼，又见面啦。我们马上来看一下今天第一个单字哦。第一个是 few， 形容词，几乎没有的，极少数的。There are very few people in the park today. 今天公园几乎没什么人。第二个字是 bother， 动词，烦扰或是使烦心。It really bothers me when someone is being rude. 没礼貌的人使我很烦心。It really bothers me when， 那这个是一个表达自己想法很明确的用法，就是说我真的不太喜欢怎么样怎么样，可以用来适时的跟身边的人沟通。接下来是 avoid， 动词是避免、逃避的意思。John wanted to avoid Jane after an awkward date last night. 在经历昨天晚上很尴尬的约会之后 ，John 想要避开 Jane。那最后这个字呢是 promise， 是动词，保证或是承诺的意思。I promised my friend I will go to the party with her. 我答应我朋友一定会跟她一起去那个派对。好的，那接下来我们来看一下今天新的生活用语。第一个是 speak up， 表达意见。那字面上面这个意思是大声说出来，那其实呢，它真正的含义是勇敢表达自己的意见跟想法。比方说 Knowing when to speak up is a very important skill to have. 知道什么时候该表达自己的意见跟想法是很重要的技能，那大家应该都要有哦。 好，第二个是 turn a blind eye， 视若无睹，表示明明知道真相却假装不知情。那形容词 blind 呢是眼盲的，要特别注意的地方是后面接的是单数的 eye 哦，大家也可以把它想成中文的睁一只眼闭一只眼，这样比较好记。那 turn a blind eye 呢，这个片语后面可以接 to 加名词或是 VING 动名词，表示对什么什么东西视若无睹。We often turn a blind eye to the things we don't want to deal with. 我们常常会对不想去处理、面对的事情视若无睹。你也会这样吗？接下来是 A has lunch with B。A 和 B 共进午餐。那 have lunch 呢，表示是吃午餐。have 在此是吃或是喝的意思。lunch 前面呢可以不用加任何冠词，比方说 a 或是 and 之类的。The manager has lunch with her staff every Wednesday. 每周三呢，经理都会和他的员工们一起吃午餐。那今天就到这边了哦，下次见。
Across from the Beigan Visitor Center is the Banli Mansion. The 100-year-old building was built out of stone and wood. It is a great example of a traditional Eastern Fujian-style building. The original building was built by the Wang family from Fujian province. For a while, it was used by the National Army. Now, the building has been turned into a museum. Inside the house, visitors can see what traditional furniture looks like. Learn about the history of Beigan and the Banli Mansion.
See you next time!